Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, meteorologist Joe Ansel right with you here. An update on your forecast here. We get a break of all the rain and heavy thunderstorm potential today. We're essentially mostly dry, as we'll have some clearing skies. Morning clouds, afternoon sun for your Juneteenth. An isolated shower can't be ruled out, but we're much more favored for some more rain again. That could be heavy and strong at times. Sunday night, Monday and Monday night seems to be the best timing as we increase some heavy moisture ahead of our next strong cold front again. 5-day precipitation graphic there. The lighter blues and purples, that's around 1 to 2 inches of rain, with also amounts locally higher that can't be ruled out. So there should be a marginal to slight risk of some excessive rain, leading to flash flood potential again, and maybe some strong to severe storms. Again, that timing, Sunday night and Monday, we'll keep eyes on. Fly Sabre forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida still have some concerns with heat, storms, 94 in Orlando, at least there today. Charlotte 87 with a chance of a storm. Chicago a break, sunny, high near 75 there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle to the north, very low potential of a shower and thunderstorm late, highs around the mid to upper 70s. For the eastern Panhandle, dry and low to mid 80s for your high temps for today. Charleston at 83, some upper 60s up in the higher elevation areas for today. Mid 60s to near 70 for spots like Snowshoe at 66 today for you. And some upper 70s to the west, Parkersburg near 78. And down to the south, 70s and 80s here as well. Likely dry, morning clouds, and afternoon sunshine. Huntington near 81. For your 7-day forecast for Charleston and Morgantown, slight chance of a storm on Saturday, but again, it's after Father's Day. High of 88, dry, warm Sunday. Sunday night, Monday, ending Monday night. Rain and storms likely, could be heavy. Low chances middle of the week.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is MetroNews Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and MetroNews' Dave Allen.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Dave Allen in the host chair. Open line, West Virginia, on the way at the bottom of the hour. Nothing but your calls and text at 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's time now for Weekend Sports with Daniel Woods. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
It is a Friday afternoon. It is Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line, West Virginia, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Text me at 304-TALK-304. Or call 1-800-765-TALK. Talk a little weekend sports now. Daniel Woods is here. How you doing, my friend?
I'm just fine. How about you?
Are you going to get any rest this weekend?
Probably not.
Okay, because I was thinking, the last, you had the softball tournament and then you had the baseball tournament. Of course, I know you were doing a lot like everybody else. We'll talk about WVU baseball run here in a moment, and football will be starting here before you know it. I'm just saying.
Don't tell me that.
I'm just wondering if you will get any rest. You and the sports team in general get any rest this weekend.
Well, no, because I'm covering the 2 North-South All-Star basketball games tonight and the football game tomorrow.
There is that. All right, so we'll get to all those in a moment, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the improbable run of the West Virginia baseball program.
Incredible.
I mean, and we had Hoppy in the show yesterday, and Hoppy says, and paraphrasing here, it's the top 3. Actually, I think he said top 5, and then he said it may be a little less than that, 1 to 4 maybe in all-time WVU stories.
I think so. I'm trying to rack my brain right now. You've got 2 undefeated regular seasons in football. You effectively played for a national championship at the end of one of them in 88, 93. I don't think you were going to win the national championship even if you beat Florida in the poll. And then you went to the Final Four in 2010. You went to the national championship game in basketball in 1959. So It's top 5.
Yeah, I think that is your top 5, and I think you could probably maybe mix or match a little bit as to who's in what position.
I think so.
But I think it's definitely top 5.
I would absolutely say so. I said it on this show the last time that I came in and did this segment that I don't want to say it feels like 2010 when the men's basketball team went to the Final Four, but it feels like 2010, and they ended up in the final, what is effectively the Final Four of college baseball. I mean, this is a program that it's been said over and over again. I don't need to continue to propagate what people have already said, but it's true. This program was barely on the caliber of being able to play in the Big East, which was not a good baseball conference when West Virginia was in the Big East, to winning Big 12 championships, now going to the College World Series, hosting super regionals, and it's just caught fire, and it's caught people's attention, and this is a team that was just effortlessly likable. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. You had a bunch of guys that it was obvious cared about the game, cared about the university, cared about the state, and cared about each other, and to watch that play out over a period of months and culminate with an appearance in the College World Series, and you didn't go tuna barbecue. You went out there and got your money's worth against some really good teams. That was incredible to watch.
And, I don't want to have delusions of grandeur here, but, I think that it's certainly documentary worthy at some point. And I don't know if it's 30 for 30 documentary worthy, but it might be.
Yeah.
Considering where it came from to what it became. And look, this time of year, too, I think plays a lot into it because it's June, and I talked about this. This is when everybody, you got the college basketball behind you, and most sports fans, let's be honest with you, college baseball is not, I don't want to offend anybody, but it's not on the level and of football or basketball or something like that. So this time of year in June, this is when people are starting to look, how are their rosters of West Virginia or Marshall or whoever, how are those rosters, going to look? We don't really have a lot of excitement per se, generally speaking, at this time of year. This team and the coaching staff in this program provided that excitement and mesmerized the whole state. I told the story numerous times. Hoppy got a chuckle out of this. Last Friday afternoon, I attempted to get a haircut. And I go to my barber in Tays Valley. I got out of here a little bit early, and I thought, well, I'll swing by, get a haircut. But giant sign on the door that said "Closed for WVU."
Yep.
so I just that level of excitement has simply not happened.
Right. It's not quite whoever the last person is out of town. Please turn the light off. But it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Where it just caught everyone's attention and everyone's emotion, and it caught attention beyond the boundaries of West Virginia, which is, I think, a big part of why people embraced it so much. It, to a lot of people, introduced the tradition of country roads after a Mountaineer win to a national stage. That's something that has been going on my entire life almost with WVU football, WVU basketball. They've added it to WVU baseball with the new stadium, but it's not something that really was part of the national consciousness. And frankly, it's one of those things where you're immersed in it your entire life. You don't realize that other people don't know about it.
Right, yeah.
It's a little bit like you drive to Cincinnati, Ohio, or Cleveland or whatever, and you stop at a gas station and you say, "Hey, do you guys have pepperoni rolls?" And they look at you like you have three heads. It's a little bit like that to me, and it's been really cool to watch that seep into the national consciousness. And again, I don't think this would happen if you did not have a team that you could look at as an outsider and say, those guys are so likable that I want to root for them.
And I think, too, it turned a lot of attention on what is truly one of the great spectacles in sports, and that's the College World Series. And I'll be honest with you, I knew it was played in Omaha, and I'm a sports guy, not as big a sports guy as you are, but I knew it was played in Omaha. Other than that, I didn't realize the format. I didn't realize what as big a deal as it was. We talked to Rodney Miller, the head of the Sheriff's Association of West Virginia, who just happened to be out in the College World Series before the thing started, and they got to tour the stadium. And there's really nothing, as you and I talked, once before. There's not really anything like that in sports where it's played at the same place every year. closest thing might be, like a Daytona 500 or,
Right.
Something like that.
Or it's like your state high school championships in West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. And where the whole town just embraces it. And it doesn't matter whether they have a rooting interest, whether there's a team within 200 miles or whatever, just the whole town just goes crazy for it. So I think the WVU story was good for college baseball because, you got the blue bloods in there, and then you got West Virginia. And I think people always, in the NCAA basketball tournament every year, people look for that one team, Loyola Marymount or whoever, Gonzaga. Well, Gonzaga's been a blue blood, I guess, now, but when they first came on the scene, that's what they look for. But now we got to just, find something else to occupy.
I guess so.
Occupy our time. All right, you mentioned the North-South game. The basketball games will be played tonight.
That's right, and those are always a ton of fun. Girls game at 6:30, boys game at 8 o'clock. We're going to have dunk contest, three-point contest, and it's one last chance for the best seniors in West Virginia to get out on the floor at the South Charleston Community Center. It's a great venue.
Yeah.
It's always put together really well, and they're going to get up and down. I'll tell you, this is somebody that played in the North-South All-Star basketball game. There's not going to be a lot of defense tonight. I was looking earlier, the year that I played in 2019, I was on the North team, and we won that game 171 to 141. So don't go in expecting tough-nosed defense and guys to protect the paint. But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of talent on the floor, and it is really always something that I find enjoyable.
And the football game will be tomorrow. We had an opportunity during the 12 o'clock hour to interview a couple of the players. One was from Washington, one was from Logan, and I swear I had nothing to do with the Logan kid being on the show today. I didn't book it. That was the Wes Eddy, I think, took care of that. But still, to interview those two, and we talked to the great Mark Martin about it on the show yesterday. It's one of those really, really cool events in the landscape of West Virginia sports.
It is, and it goes on for decades and decades, and they are recognizing their North-South All-Star Hall of Fame class for this year tonight. And when you're talking about an all-star game that's been around long enough to have its own Hall of Fame, I think that kind of tells you everything you need to know. So it is an incredibly well put together event. It gives these guys an opportunity to get out there on the field. For the guys that aren't going to go on and play college football, it's kind of that crowning achievement at the end of the road. You work hard for all these years, and finally you get to the end and you get recognized. You go play in the North-South game. For guys that are going to go off and play college football, it's kind of the last opportunity to play the same game you grew up playing as a kid, because you get to college football, it's a whole different animal than even high school. So there is a little bit of an innocence that comes with high school football that changes when you go to college, and this is kind of the last opportunity to really just go out there and play for fun and play for the name on the jersey.
These two young men that we interviewed last hour, one of them, Cam Toggins, who's out of Washington, and the other one, Rob Ball, out of Logan. Both are going on to play college ball elsewhere. One is going to Wesleyan, the other one is going to Concord, so happy to see that they're going to
I have a Rob Ball story for you, by the way, your Logan guy.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're interested.
Sure.
He was on that Logan baseball team that finished as a state runner-up last week. Hit a 2-run home run in their quarterfinal game off the scoreboard at Jack Cook Field. But after the game, Kevin Gertz, the longtime baseball coach at Logan, was asked by, I believe it was Chris Lawrence, about Rob Ball and his performance. And he said that Rob Ball, they had the football coaches at Concord a little bit mad at him because Rob Ball's a big guy. He's a defensive lineman, big old boy. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
The coaches at Concord were a little bit mad at him because over the course of baseball season, he had dropped about 35 pounds because he's an outfielder, was running around left field for Logan, hitting balls, running the bases, and they were saying they want him to put on weight to play defensive line at Concord, and they're a little bit mad at us because he's dropped about 35 pounds. But I'll tell you what, saw him at the media day the other day. That is a guy that is going to go and get after some quarterbacks tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so you mentioned the state baseball tournament. We crowned 4 new champions last week. Everything seemed – I had a long talk with Fred Persinger out in the parking lot the other day. Fred and I encountered each other. Seemed to think that everything went well. Your take on how Huntington did?
I thought it was phenomenal. And it's not to take anything away from Gomart Ballpark here in Charleston, who did a great job in our years there as well. But it is – nice to get a new venue and get a different perspective, and it went off incredibly well. The weather helped. We had one real weather delay. It was 40 minutes during one of the quarterfinal rounds. One day started 5 minutes late. They started at 10:05 instead of 10 to let the last remnants of a storm roll through. Weather was great. The facility is phenomenal at Jack Cook Field. And yes, it's as new as you're going to find in the state of West Virginia, but it's not brand new. It's a couple of years old, and they've done a great job taking care of it at Marshall. We were treated extremely well. All the booths were very well air-conditioned, which is always great for us on days like that. But I think the teams walked away thinking it was a great experience. I walked away thinking it was a great experience. Maybe one of the most underrated things of the whole week was you had the indoor facilities for baseball and softball at Marshall that were made available to the teams before the games, where they could go in, use the indoor cages, get their swings in, get stretched out in there, and then get out on the field. They're ready for their warm-ups, so we were not being delayed between games, which was a really nice touch as well. So that was really a well-put-together week, and I'm excited to see it continue to grow in Huntington.
And a big feather in the cap for Marshall University and for the city of Huntington as well.
No question.
And I'm sure that some fans came in and spent a little coinage, at some restaurants and hotels and so on and so forth.
And you could see how much the Marshall community and the city of Huntington cared. Patrick Farrell came out and threw the first pitch on day one. We get to championship day. Brad Smith and Gerald Harrison came out and threw dueling first pitches on championship Saturday.
Who had the best first pitch of the three?
That's a very good question. It was a full 7 days, so I'm having a hard time remembering Patrick Farrell's first pitch at this point.
I got you.
I want to say he threw a solid strike, and the other two were very strong as well. But I want to say Patrick Farrell went up there and hummed it in pretty good.
All right. Points for the mayor.
Yes.
Points for the mayor. All right, so we move on. Of course, we'll start talking about high school football here before you know it in a couple of months, probably even before then. Let's talk about some other the Knicks won the NBA championship.
Yes.
And look, NBA basketball, it's got its hardcore fans and it's got people that probably have a hard time naming who the 5 biggest stars in the league are. That's just kind of just kind of the way it's been, unfortunately, for the last couple of years. This series, though, turned out to be pretty good for the NBA brass because they like when people get. Sorry, with all due respect, it's hard to get excited about Oklahoma City sometimes, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. I'm just saying, sports teams, as you know, sports leagues, they like when those marquee teams are in there, or a team from a big city, a Chicago, Los Angeles, whatever, because they bring a ton of fans. And the Knicks brought a ton of fans. Even in San Antonio, I watched some of the games. The Knicks fans outnumbered the Spurs fans probably 70 to 30%, if not more.
It was crazy. And to your point, I think if you gave truth serum to every major sports commissioner in the country and asked them, who do you want to see in the championship this year, it would be New York against Los Angeles. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's huge for the NBA to have the Knicks at that peak for the first time in 53 years. I have a friend that is from northern New Jersey, is a Knicks fan, died in the wool, born and raised Knicks fan, went to the championship parade the other day, sent a photo of the crowd at the parade to our friend group from college and sent it around 8 a.m. the day of the parade. The cell towers in New York City were choked so bad, it did not come through until about 12:30 that day. That's how crazy it was.
He could have written you a letter.
He could have. He could have sent it by homing pigeon. But he said it was packed so tight along the parade route, at a certain point, he could not move his arms enough to cross them over his chest. That's how...
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's how excited people were for this, though, and it has done great things for the NBA. And even you look at what was done on the court. Throw out the names on the jerseys. You want to talk about a story? You get Jalen Brunson, the best player for the Knicks, the leading scorer, the Finals MVP. This is a guy that was a second-round pick out of Villanova, went to the Dallas Mavericks, was a good above-average role player. Decides he wants to go to the Knicks because that's the team he grew up with, and it's derided as an overpay, and you're spending too much for a small guard. And he goes out and wins a championship for the team that he grew up with his dad as an assistant coach.
That's a good story.
Those are the movie-like moments we talk about in sports. So not only is it a huge market, winning for the first time in over 50 years, but there's an incredible story behind it right at the heart of it. So that was really fun to follow.
And
along
we crowned
with.
a new NHL champs.
That's right. Yeah, Carolina Hurricanes I don't want to say dominant in the finals against the Vegas Golden Knights, but were very impressive against the Vegas Golden Knights. And again, you want to talk about individual player stories. Jordan Staal, 37 years old, the oldest playoff MVP in the history of the NHL. And this is a guy that was drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins, was a good player in Pittsburgh, but was at best third banana his time there to Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. He gets traded to Carolina when it's time for him to start making big money, and the Penguins can't afford him. And he's been there close to 15 years, maybe 15 years at this point. I don't know off the top of my head. And at age 37, he takes him to the Cup Finals and wins the Conn Smythe Trophy as the playoff MVP. I mean, these are the kind of stories that I love in sports, and Carolina doing that this year is another one of them.
All right, make me care about the World Cup.
I'll make you care about the world. How about this? The United States plays Australia in – I'm not good at math. In 30 –
Carry the three.
I was waiting for the seconds to count down.
Okay.
Basically 36 minutes. They're going to kick off the United States and Australia. If the U.S. wins today, they win their group, which means they are guaranteed into the knockout round. And they played very well in their first game against Paraguay. A lot remains to be seen because Paraguay is, frankly, not one of the stronger teams in the competition. But the United States looked very good in Game 1. They have a chance to look very good again today. Christian Pulisic, who is the top player for the United States, certainly the most famous American player in the world, was injured in that game. He is not going to play today against Australia, so worth keeping an eye on.
All right, and the U.S. Open, of course, is this weekend as well. Don't have time to get into that. Daniel Woods, it's always a pleasure, my friend.
Always.
Thanks a lot. It's 2:25. We'll take a break and come back after this.
As West Virginia takes their shot at glory in Omaha and captures the nation's attention, West Virginia businesses are building for the future. When it's time for a new medical facility, hospital expansion, historic renovation, auto dealership, apartment complex, sports complex, or church addition, trust the team that's been helping build West Virginia for more than 25 years. Jarrett Construction delivers design build, construction management, and general contracting services throughout the state of West Virginia. Visit jarrett-construction.com today. WV030133.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZLM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZLM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
On the next State of Minds,
the number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
At Dan Cabot GMC. Now get up to $12,000 off any 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Shop our great selection of new Acadias and Canyons. Lease a 2026 GMC Canyon Elevation for only $575 per month. And don't forget to check out our quality pre-owned vehicles. At Dan Cabot GMC, shop the world.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your App Store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Walk.org.
We're coming back after this with Open Line West Virginia on Metro News Midday.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, meteorologist Joe Ansel right with you here. An update on your forecast here. We get a break of all the rain and heavy thunderstorm potential today. We're essentially mostly dry, as we'll have some clearing skies. Morning clouds, afternoon sun for your Juneteenth. An isolated shower can't be ruled out, but we're much more favored for some more rain again. That could be heavy and strong at times. Sunday night, Monday and Monday night seems to be the best timing as we increase some heavy moisture ahead of our next strong cold front again. 5-day precipitation graphic there. The lighter blues and purples, that's around 1 to 2 inches of rain, with also amounts locally higher that can't be ruled out. So there should be a marginal to slight risk of some excessive rain, leading to flash flood potential again, and maybe some strong to severe storms. Again, that timing, Sunday night and Monday, we'll keep eyes on. Fly Seabird forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida still have some concerns with heat, storms, 94 in Orlando, at least there today. Charlotte 87 with a chance of a storm. Chicago a break, sunny, high near 75 there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle to the north, very low potential of a shower and thunderstorm late, highs around the mid to upper 70s. For the eastern Panhandle, dry and low to mid 80s for your high temps for today. Charlestown at 83, some upper 60s up in the higher elevation areas for today. Mid 60s to near 70 for spots like Snowshoe at 66 today for you. And some upper 70s to the west, Parkersburg near 78. And down to the south, 70s and 80s here as well. Likely dry, morning clouds, and afternoon sunshine. Huntington near 81. For your 7-day forecast for Charleston and Morgantown, slight chance of a storm on Saturday, but again, it's after Father's Day. High of 88, dry, warm Sunday. Sunday night, Monday, ending Monday night. Rain and storms likely, could be heavy. Low chances middle of the week.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
If it matters in West Virginia, it's being talked about here.
I always said I was going to move to a mountain in Tucker County, but probably going to put a data center on it, so I got to find a new plan.
Oh, you did not.
Oh, I did. Told you I was a little grumpy today.
Oh, man, you got some zingers today, Dave. I love it.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com. With Metro News Hotline, if it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're
and
like the
stuff.
12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from New Orleans would think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
LOC.gov/vets today.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greer.
Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Dave Allen in the host chair. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. That is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. West Virginia is on the rise. New businesses, new opportunities, and a strong, resilient workforce leading the way. Check out the full story. WVEnrich.com. A video presentation sponsored by Huntington Bank. Proud to be investing in the future of West Virginia. What's on your mind, West Virginia? You want to talk? You want to text? You can do either or both, I guess. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, so we find out now that the guy who was leading the thwarted attack on the UFC fight was an illegal, but yet we aren't supposed to believe that any of those people are criminals, says a texter. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Let me see. I don't know about... No. I don't think so. Text said, you can't move in downtown Charleston at all today. People are having to miss work. Will the city of Charleston make up the money people lost by not working? It is ridiculous, says the texter. It is difficult to get around in the capital city today. I will say that because, you have the USA Pro Road bike, the national championships going on. They've been going on the last couple of days. It is earlier, the city of Charleston had their Juneteenth festivities, had the parade, and, of course, a big event at Slack Plaza. There are later, Live on the Levee is going to be going on at 6:30, Haddad Riverfront Park. Rolls on the River is going to be going on around that time, too. So it is difficult in the capital city. I will say a couple of things, though. Number one, a lot of people are not working today. I know I'm here, and many of you are where you are, and the producers, Stephanie and Ryan, they're here. But a lot of people aren't working today. West Virginia Day is tomorrow. Juneteenth is a federal holiday, so no mail or anything like that today. So a lot of people aren't working today. Many people will also, spoiler alert, many people are going to take Monday off too, just so you know. So it is difficult. I think the city of Charleston overall does a really, really good job. Easy for me to say, as I have not left the building since 7 a.m. this morning, and I have not encountered any of this. I will, when I leave at about 4:30 or 5 this afternoon, I will encounter some of it then. But it's a big-time event for the city of Charleston. It is a national championship. People who win here go on to the Olympics. And they chose Charleston because they love the layout, because you got a lot of flat land, you got a lot of hilly terrain, and then tomorrow they'll get up in some of the more residential areas, up in the South Hills area and so on and so forth. I get it, but it brings a lot of money into Charleston. It really, really does. And these sorts of events go on in cities all over America. Text, so many great places to eat across West Virginia, Dave. Thank you for spotlighting them. Well, when we started doing the show, we wanted to do a little fun thing, and we call it the Lunch Spot. And every Friday, we go across the state of West Virginia, we pick out a place, and we call them up, and we talk about their food. Today, it happened to be sounds like a wonderful place. I've never been there in Hinton in Summers County. I've been to Hinton several times. I just never have been at this particular establishment. I promise you I will go there, though, because it sounded pretty good. It really did, what they were talking about there. But appreciate that. I do think West Virginia has a very vibrant culinary scene, and every city you go to in West Virginia, even some of the smaller towns you go to, there's some pretty good food there. I will say this, though. I don't know exactly. I don't always get to listen to all of Talkline because I'm usually in my office preparing for this show, and I'll have it on, and I get called out of the office and go to a meeting and do things in the studio and so on. So I don't always get to hear talk about it. I did hear, though, that there was some sort of a discussion, and I'll have to ask Meadows exactly what he was talking about the way people eat their steak. I do know that. And I'm just going to tell you right now that if you eat steak any more than anything from medium and up, you're a godless communist. I'm going to say that right now. No, I'm kidding. You order your steak however you want. For me, I want my medium rare with the emphasis on the rare, and know the stuff coming out of it is not blood. That's not blood. Do your homework. I want mine medium rare. And again, more emphasis on the rare. I'm convinced, as I've said before, eventually, the older I get, I'm just going to go into a field and I'm going to punch a cow. And I'm just going to eat it there. Maybe the one that was roaming around the interstate outside up in the Eastern Panhandle the other day. I don't know. Not advocating punching cows, by the way, PETA. That was a joke. It was a joke. I do like my steak rare. Very, very rare. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says, perhaps he'll make Mexico pay for it. Oh, okay. I think that was a reference to the amount of money in the Iran deal. So maybe the texter saying perhaps that President Trump will make Mexico pay for it. Text says, I'm still on my Mountaineer high. When does football season start? Well, I mean, football season, for those of us that are hardcore football fans, never ends. My TV finds its way on the NFL Network on a regular basis. And if there is a documentary like a Football Life or 30 for 30 on, yeah, it's going on that. It's going on that. But as far as college football, I mean, there's always something going on. And hope springs eternal for sports fans. Text says, so much hate for Juneteenth. I'm like you, Dave. Why does it hurt you? Thank you for the text, and I understand what you were saying, and I agree. It's like I don't understand why people get so worked up over things like that. I mean, Juneteenth has been celebrated for years in the black community. It just recently became a thing as far as nationwide, federal holidays, so on and so forth. And I mean, you look at your social media feed, and anytime a news entity like ours or TV stations or whatever, networks, puts something on about Juneteenth, seemingly somebody has to say something negative about it. And I just don't understand that. I mean, I don't. If you don't like it or whatever, then don't participate. I understand the meaning behind it. I really do. And I think it is criminal that growing up, as I'm a Gen X kid, that we weren't taught more about that, about the. I mean, certain things of the civil rights movement were glossed over. I mean, we knew the big stuff, but as far as the Juneteenth, I was never taught that in public schools, and many of you listening to me probably weren't either. And people that say, well, if you talk about this stuff, you're just stoking the flames. You're just bringing up old stuff and blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you don't learn from history, how are you going to get any better? And it doesn't matter what the story is, whether it's race-related, whether it's wars or whatever. I mean, I don't get bothered by things. Text says these nasty storms we've been getting are happening more and more, but yet climate change isn't real, says the texter. I've always said that I'm not a climate change denier. I also am not a climate change alarmist. I think there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the weather. I don't know how much of it is man-made. I'm not a scientist, all right? I just know there's some, in the words of the greatest band of all time, Leonard Skinner, there's things going on you don't know. And that does not mean that the government is controlling the weather. 243, 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. We'll take a break. More Open Line West Virginia coming up.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Come check out this 2026 Sierra 3500 all-wheel drive and dual rear wheels crew Denali and this 2026 Sierra HD chassis cab. Both built to work. If your job demands more, they both deliver. You can build it your way from the ground up with a chassis cab or get the fully loaded, ready-to-work Denali crew cab dually. Custom or complete, they are both ready for work. At Dan Cavett GMC, shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Bellevue Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
West Virginia is home. It's where we work, live, and raise our families. At the heart of our communities are West Virginia hospitals and their compassionate caregivers. From life-saving treatments and emergency care to wellness support and screening services, we are improving your quality of life through extraordinary achievements and amazing results. West Virginia Hospitals. Your health is the heartbeat of our communities.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
.gov.
Welcome back to the show. 13 away from 3 o'clock as the USA Pro Road National Championships roll through Charleston. I just got a text from one of our coworkers, one of our sales weasels, who said, you cannot get to our office right now at 11:11. And I'm thinking, I was talking to Ryan during the break there, and I said, you know what? You may be hosting Hotline today if Weekly can't get here. And Ryan says, my time has arrived. So Ryan is ready. He's ready to host it. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Metro News Midday heard all over the great state of West Virginia. Great radio stations like WJLS in Beckley, our flagship here in Charleston, WCHS, WKMZ Clarksburg, WDNE in Elkins, WKLP Kaiser, WVW Logan, WEPM Martinsburg, WAJR Morgantown, WSLW White Sulphur Springs, WKKX and WVLY in Wheeling. It's Open Line West Virginia. Let's hear from Tommy. You're on the show.
Hi, I want to talk about Juneteenth, but let me touch on two other subjects quickly.
Yeah.
Ryan, we want Ryan to remember that Kurt Warner was the substitute who got into the game because the other guy got hurt and took his team to the Super Bowl. So, Ryan, good luck.
All right.
Then the bicycles in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's a pain in the necko, but you know what? Brings a lot of money into the city, and it also sends a lot of goodwill out. I've heard two of these racers, one from Texas and one from California, interviewed separately on the radio, and each of them said nice things about the course is challenging, blah, blah, blah. But they said the people are so kind, so cordial, such nice people. And they're going to go home and say that. What's Charleston, West Virginia like? Oh, real sweet people.
Well, and again, let me just say this real quick, and I'll let you get your point. To that point, the way that Charleston got chosen for this was because of another event that was held in Charleston, and people came in, and it had nothing to do with biking. It was another event, and it was I think it was table tennis at the Coliseum and Convention Center. There was a big tournament, like a national championship, and the people that organized those things all talked to each other, even though they're different sports. They went back, and that's how the ball got rolling, or maybe the bicycle tire got rolling, to get this thing in Charleston to begin with, was because of word of mouth. So, yeah, you're right about that. All right, what was your other point, Tommy?
Yeah. Now, Juneteenth, I have, I think, a rather unique perspective. My brother and I, years ago, we're talking 1980, we're watching because Texas has celebrated this as a state holiday for a long time. So sometime in the 1980s. And we were watching this thing on the news together, and we looked at one another, and I said to my brother, do you think he was there? And he said, maybe. He being the mysterious great-grandfather who was a water boy and stretcher boy. He was a teenager. He was no 17 when the war ended. So he was about 13 years old when he started in Granger's Army. And we had found that out not easily. My grandfather was a man, not his sons or anybody would ask him anything personal. See? And his wife eventually told her sons about his checkered history. Legally, he was a bastard. Now, also, misnomers about Juneteenth. Yes, we know Appomattox Courthouse, early April of 65. No one bothers to teach us that in May, early about a month later, on the Gulf Coast of Texas, the Union troops got their butts hammered, beat like a chicken thief by Confederate forces in Texas. So no one told them the war was over. Also, we're told Juneteenth was when the last slaves found out that they were liberated. It's also not accurate, okay? The last slaves were finally notified of them being liberated later that year when the amendment finished the process of going to the different state houses to be accepted. You know, Congress had moved it. It's one of the great things Lincoln did. He was so happy because he gets assassinated not long after that. But so I do think that Juneteenth, I mean, you can argue any holiday, whether it should be one or not.
Well, I mean, people say it was a made-up holiday. I got news for you. Every holiday is a made-up holiday because at some point somebody had to say, we need to commemorate this.
Right. Some biblical scholars will tell you that if we knew the day that Christ was born, it would probably have been in the spring based on the descriptions they give you in the story. The Christians decided to make it in December because it was similar to the time that Roman pagans were celebrating their gods as they had done for decades or hundreds of years. So they thought it would be great timing. People were in a celebrative mood. And so we celebrate Christmas. Bottom line is that we accept Christ as God. Other people don't and all that. That's their business. But Juneteenth is okay as a holiday by me. I'm down for the count. I'm a hurting buckaroo, so I can't really have fun today. But I have in the past. The governor had some things going on the state capitol a couple of years ago, Governor Justice. Morrissey wants to ignore it, and I don't know why he doesn't seem to address the issue as if it were one. I think it is. But Thank you for your time, sir.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate the phone call. Thanks a lot. Yeah. I mean, the good points there made by Tommy. And that's what I have always said about people saying, well, it's a made-up holiday. Well, every holiday is a made-up holiday, okay? And I liked his point about Christmas, and I am not a biblical scholar by any stretch of the imagination. However, as Tommy correctly pointed out, most biblical scholars say that the time of Christ's birth would have been in the spring. Also, if you think that people in that part of the world were named David and Paul and, well, you're sadly mistaken. 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says these people complaining about traffic at events in Charleston would never make it at a big city where this stuff happens every weekend. Get over it. Text says, so the governor issues a Juneteenth proclamation, but only after he's shamed into it, just like Trump. Text, the problem with data centers isn't data centers themselves. The fact is the local communities have no say in anything, says the texter. Final text, you know what I'm going to say, Dave, before I say it. Beautiful day today and all weekend. Let's fix some potholes. All right. With that, we'll take a break.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
At Dan Cava GMC, now get up to $12,000 off any 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Lisa 2026 GMC Canyon Elevation for only $575 per month. At Dan Cava GMC, shop the world.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
A heartbeat is more than a rhythm. It's a life in motion. At the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, we bring world-class care to our communities, combining advanced technology, groundbreaking treatments, and the expertise of nationally recognized heart, lung, and vascular specialists. Because we're not just treating conditions, we're restoring moments, movement, and meaning. In medicine, we restore lives. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Welcome back to the show. Bad news, Mr. Nicholson. Mr. Weekly has arrived.
Well, what? Ryan gets a lot of airtime on my show.
I know he does.
Witty sidekick, right?
Witty sidekick. I think he was thinking you wouldn't be able to make it, and he was going to slide in here.
Listen, they're always going to look for fill-ins on the farm report.
Okay.
So listen, he'll get his opportunity.
But you were able to make it to 11:11.
Barely. Barely.
Yeah,
but
you
I
were
did
a little
make
bit
it.
later than normal because you usually roll in here a little bit earlier than you did.
I made it. I kind of figured out. I sort of knew where traffic was going to be stopped and tried to get beyond the bridge. And once I did that, I was okay.
Didn't you pull the? Do you know who I am?
No, never do that.
Do you know who I am? That's what I say.
That kind of stuff will get you fired.
Like what I do is I just pull up to and I say, "Look, get out of the way. I'm a big deal. I'm Dale Cooper. Get out of the way." All right, what you got on the show quickly?
Well, today is the anniversary of the first official organized baseball game in 1846.
And you called it.
Yeah, right. And if you could go back into time and see any historic sports event live in person, which one would it be?
All right, that's coming up on Hotline. Folks, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. Till then, have fun and love somebody.